Hello Internet, and welcome to This Day in History for the 2nd of October. Again, this day is one of those throughout the history where a lot of interesting stuff has happened, but we picked 1925 specifically because this was the day where John Logie Baird performed the first successful test of the television set. Now, there were several attempts to create a working television, and Logie Baird was not the only one who made successful attempts, but his was the version that, with some, modifications and testing, of course, we are still basically using today. Now, why am I picking the television? Everyone knows, of course, that television rots the mind of children and has contributed to a degeneration of a superior culture, and while all of this is, of course, true, I picked the television for the same reason that I picked the car yesterday. It's because the television was also a way for the common and public man to gain a greater knowledge and, information about what went on in their society and in the world and just in general. As much as it is perhaps not comme il fait to say this nowadays, the television was, at least in its early years, and in fact to a certain degree even now, a very powerful tool of public democracy, because it allows for information gathering from the general populace. Of course, nowadays perhaps it could be said that television has gone the way of some of the mass media and the more personalized internet has taken over, but even then, do not misunderstand the power that television possessed specifically in the middle part of the 20th century, especially during the great wars of ideologies back when the concept of having a dictator, like in socialism, etc., was not something you scoffed at automatically, but was in fact a fairly acceptable concept about how to structure your society. Of course, leaving aside these more highfalutin and high-concept ideas, there's also just the point about the television that it is, of course, one of the most important cultural artifacts of the 20th century. At one point, who wasn't sitting in front of their television in the evenings watching whatever was on, was it news or entertainment or shows or whatever? It has, to a certain degree, brought people more together and just given them greater entertainment and, to a certain degree, education than probably any other single item in the 20th century, including the radio, as population growth and, of course, just the visual aspect of television has assured its supremacy. Well, that ended up a bit more philosophical than I had anticipated, but these are my feelings upon the television and why I consider John Logie Baird's successful testing of the concept such an important bit that I chose it for this day in history. I will end with a joke I have stolen directly from some British comedian whose name, unfortunately, I can't remember right now, but it is basically about both television and Scottish people. To demonstrate just what kind of people the Scots are, when they went around to congratulate John Logie Baird after he had invented the television, his response was, "Aye, but there's fuck all on!" I hope this has been of some kind of interest to you. Until next time, I have been the Sage, and I wish you all a very happy day.